Hello, and welcome to another episode of Stepping Up. Thanks for joining me. I'm your host, Danielle Dubois. Our aim is to highlight persons who innovate and use their talents to help solve some of the new problems this ongoing COVID-19 pandemic has created. In other words, people who are stepping up to the plate. This week, our eye is on the manufacturing and agricultural sector, and for our Link Up segment, we head to the Central American Caribbean country, Belize. I was inspired this week by a young manufacturer from Wapatat using his state-of-the-art technology to provide locally made face shields. Let's take a look at the interview. I'm here with Coyote James, owner and managing director of Real 3D Printing. How are you, Coyote?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good. So tell us a little bit more about your company.
Okay, our company is a locally based manufacturing company, what I like to refer as modern day manufacturing. And when we go into that, what I mean by that is it entails everything you would think from your computer, and then it branches off from there into what we call industrial 3D printers. Now, when you think of printer, you usually think of paper and everything like that, but it's not. Think of industrial when you think of your traditional factories and everything like that, the fumes and the noise and everything, but more on an eco-friendly basis and more technologically inclined.
Right. So tell us a little bit more about some of the products that you have. I see you have some stuff here on the table here for us, so that you could let us know exactly. We could see the 3D printing.
Yeah. We've brought with us today some of our past work and prototypes. So, for example, the shoe heel, it's one of our prototypes. We also carry with us a fancy bottle opener that's printed as a pizza. Another prototype is the stove knob. So the other thing we have is like an ornament, which is the little statue, the gray statue of the spaceman, and we also have the item for the stationary item for the pen holder and everything like that.
So what was the transition like? What was it like when you guys decided to make these masks, that we have a pandemic, that you guys have the capability to print almost anything? What was it like when you guys made that decision?
By providing awareness with wristbands saying stay safe, quarantine and stuff like that, we then got in contact with Jim's Wave Maker. He actually DM'd us a link with what's happening overseas and how the hospitals in the States are using 3D printing to assist them with their face shields and masks. And then from that, it sparked some traction, whereas by 10-15 minutes later, we were contacted by doctors, local doctors, to assist them with providing them with face shields and face masks. So with that, we decided to start investigating it overseas and with neighboring countries as to how can we make this happen. And between the 2 weeks, up until after the lockdown, we were prototyping different face shields and how we could use the local suppliers to produce these things. So we went from face mask to just mainly face shields.
Nice. So tell me how you feel as a young entrepreneur being able to contribute at such an important time in terms of everything that's happening. How does it feel as a young entrepreneur, and what do you think is the message that you might want to share with other young persons who have businesses right now?
Well, I feel, to be honest, it's God sent. It's a humbling situation, opportunity. It causes us, we realize it's causing a lot of notoriety for the company, which makes us appreciate what we're doing even more, and just the fact that we can assist the frontline workers and everyone else. With that being said, we want to ensure that we provide quality products and to reassure clients and future customers that we're here every step of the way, So with that being said, for any other entrepreneur or person out there that's doing their own thing, just keep pushing, keep grinding, don't give up, it will get hard. It's not an easy road, trust me. And just keep the faith, that eventually things will start unraveling the way you want, Things may not always plan out the way you want, but, at a certain point you will get there. You will start feeling the comfort of I'm making it or I'm getting there, steps upward in progress. It won't happen overnight.
Wow. I need to walk with my tissue. I'm deeply inspired, and I hope that you touch other persons who viewing the show right now. So to conclude our little interview, I'm quite excited to try on my face shield. So can I get a one-on-one demonstration, please, sir?
So this is the face shield. As you can see here, this is the 3D printed headband.
Okay, the band.
Yeah, and then with our local suppliers, we're able to get the visor and then the the elastic. So from here, when you get it originally, it will be untied, so it could go over your head. Well, you will put it over your head and then adjust it however you see fit. And then when you find it snug enough that it doesn't cause any interference,
Then you
tie it to the back. We do want to reinforce that. Just tie it up.
All right. Your nose not supposed to be touching it, right? Okay. Oh, this is actually, in my opinion, a little bit better than the mask. You could breathe a little better.
Yeah, but we won't tell persons to get either or.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, in our opinion, you guaranteed much more safety when you have the mask as well as the face shield on. But if you're having experiences or issues breathing, then we could use this. But it only prevents you from, you wouldn't know. But if you don't have the contracted the disease, persons oncoming will that may not have it. The face shield protects you from that, against that, Also, it's also advised that you cover your hair and stuff like that with either a scarf or a hat or something like that.
And this is available. Anybody could buy a face shield if they want?
Yes, you could DM us via social media or direct message us via Facebook, Instagram at r.3dprinting, or you could call us at 519-8070, and you could also contact us via email at real3dprint@gmail.com. REAL, the number 3, letter D, PRINT@gmail.com.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. James. And there you have it. And I have my very fashionable protective mask. Compliments Real 3D Printing. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for staying with me on Stepping Up. We just heard the inspiring story of Real 3D Printing, who is making a significant contribution during this very uncertain time with the production of protective wear. We now dig our hands into the agriculture sector. With the push by the government of St. Lucia for the Buy Local campaign, our farmers are now in the spotlight. In anticipation of this thrust, a move is being made by one young entrepreneur to encourage persons to grow their own food. How green is my thumb? Let's find out. Hello guys, so I'm here with Jeshon Andrew, who is the brain box behind Plant a Kitchen Garden. So Jeshon, how are you?
I'm good, Daniel. What about you?
I'm fine. I'm excited to learn how to plant something here today.
Great, and I'm happy that you're here.
So am I. So Jeshon, tell us a little bit about plant your kitchen garden initiative that you started in your community?
Yes, well, it's an initiative that we decided to execute through the Grizzly South Youth and Sports Council. Basically, I realized that during this pandemic, it would have been an opportune time to encourage young persons to get into cultivating of crops and food for the household. And I felt that several things could be accomplished through the initiative. So for one, young persons would have something to do to help them stay at home. It could turn into a family activity where everybody can get involved. And secondly, it's an opportunity to save money on the food bill during this time. We know that COVID, the economics will not be the best moving forward, and so we encourage persons to save money in all areas possible. In addition to that, we felt that it would have been a great opportunity for young people basically to get a sense of appreciation for the farmers, what they do in terms of producing food for us and feeding the nation and that sort of thing. In addition to which, I think there may be young people around who might have a passion for agriculture that they would not have had the opportunity to recognize because they never got the opportunity to get involved, get their hands in the soil. And you know, locally, the average age of our farmer in St. Lucia is 55, 60. We need to change that moving forward to get young people into agriculture. So it would have been an opportunity for young people to get involved.
To jump on board.
Yeah.
So just tell us how easy it is to start your own kitchen garden. And you're supposed to teach me how to plant something here today. So as you go along, you let our viewers know how they can apply the same thing at home.
Sure, I will. The other part of the initiative, we sought to encourage persons to go the recycling route.
Okay.
So you use items. So as you can see today, mine, I have set it up here with pallets. So I have repurposed the pallets. And we've seen a few young people using old aluminum trays, jars, bottles, cans, tires, old containers, anything that you would have normally thrown away.
Anything can be repurposed.
Can be repurposed, right? So basically what you need to do is to you can start off either with seeds or with seedlings. And I have started off with seedlings because quite a few of the young persons around opted to start with seedlings. And so I got a few for myself
so if not
as well.
seedlings, what else you can use?
Like I'm saying, you can use seeds. So you could sow your seeds.
So there's a difference between seedlings and seeds.
Right. So when
so you see how we need to learn. So what's the difference?
When you take the seeds and you put them to germinate, within the first week when they are very small, they're referred to as seedlings.
Okay.
Which are baby plants.
Which is what we have in the box.
Which is what we have in the box right
understood.
Here. Right?
And seeds are just dry seeds.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Most
You're
definitely.
never too young or too old to learn something new.
Of course. Of course. So once you have any good soil medium that you can use, and you have your item that you can plant in, you have your seeds or your seedlings, that's basically what you need to start. And I think for most persons, the challenge is not setting up, but the challenge is remembering to water every day. So a lot of the young people, you know, they would have been saying, you know, they hope they remember. But so far, we've distributed 456 seedlings throughout several young persons throughout the community. So the initiative is picking up steam, and we're seeing a lot of young people coming on board and taking the opportunity to participate.
And what are some of the food that is grown, like fruits and vegetables? What are the most popular ones? And what are the easiest, go-to, was the first choice for most people? Nice.
Well, so far what I notice is a lot of people are opting to plant a lot of the seasonings, the celery, the parsley. I think everybody took tomatoes. We have persons who took lettuce as well, Chinese cabbage, cucumbers, sweet pepper. A few persons decided to try the broccoli as well. So we have quite a wide range, you know, cilantro, seasoning pepper, watermelon, you know, so there's a wide range that persons are planting from. And what I've noticed is that everybody did what I think is good and took a variety of things so that they could have the experience and enjoy a wide range of products at the end, produce at the end.
That's very interesting, and I think it reinforces the importance of agriculture, and
Of
I
course.
think what you're doing is making it very accessible for young persons.
Exactly.
That you don't need this big expanse of land. You know.
Right.
Once you just have the willpower and
Yeah.
a little jar and some dirt and a seedling, you can start somewhere.
Most
so can I get
definitely.
my lesson, please?
Sure, no problem. So the seedlings, they come in peat moss.
Okay.
So this one here is
So you need to tell us what's peat moss as you go along. with
right.
this.
So peat moss is a medium, a very dark medium. It's very fine. It holds water well, and the seeds are sown into it, and when they germinate, they come out in cubes
Like that.
like this, and they are sold to the customer at various prices. So when you have your seedling, you get it like this, or even if you sowed your seeds into something, it's always good to spread out your seeds so that each seedling, then you can take it out with a bit of dirt. You try your best not to disrupt the root network that has started growing. So if you look beneath this one, you can see a lot of the roots here which has started growing.
And how long will it take for a seedling like that to develop?
Well, different seeds germinate, take different amounts of time to germinate and grow. The broccoli might take a little longer than something like the beans or something else, which might germinate pretty quickly.
So what are we planting today?
This, what you have here, is actually a broccoli plant.
Broccoli.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
So the other thing I want persons to remember is your spacing. So you don't plant based on the size of the plant right now. You need to space it out sufficiently so that when it grows, there is enough space, enough room for it to flourish, and you don't have a garden that is all choked up. Right?
So what's the first step? Now we have our space, we have our soil, I have my seedling.
So there's a spot right here, I think, that you
Okay.
can use. If you could, right. So
I think I broke the seedling.
oh, that's not a problem. we can use a different one. That is not an
Is
issue.
that broccoli?
No, we
I
don't
would like
have
a broccoli plant, please.
broccoli. No, there's no more broccoli.
Okay.
So what I have here is a sweet pepper. This one is a
Okay.
yellow sweet pepper.
Nice. So just dig around?
Yeah, so you just dig around, not too deep.
Okay.
You
Well, tell me
want
when it's sufficient. When I should stop.
Yeah, you're already too deep. you want to go the depth of the height of the thickness of
okay.
the cube,
Okay.
so that you don't have too much of the stem of the plant getting into the soil.
Okay.
The only seedling I advise
And then
that
do
you
I
can
cover
plant
it up
deep.
one time or not yet?
Yes, you can. So you put it up. The only seedling I advise that you can plant a little deeper is the tomato,
Okay.
because it has adventitious roots. It will send out from the stems, and so that will be good for the tomatoes themselves. But the others,
Adventitious roots.
yes.
Wow. Agriculture is at heart. And that's it?
yes.
All right.
All right. And when you planted on a warm day like today, and your soil is a bit dry, what happens is the dry soil will withdraw the water from around the roots of the plant. So it's good to have your little
Just to water a little bit.
cup. You know, you can cut a cup a little below the label, soft drink bottle.
Yeah.
A little below the label, and that should be sufficient water that you gently give around a good perimeter around the plant. So a good rule of thumb is you look at the leaves and you water a circle the
around
same,
it.
right,
Nice.
going all around. You ensure the center and on everywhere gets some water, and you should be all right.
And that's it for our little kitchen garden?
And that's it for
All
your
right.
kitchen
So do you have
garden.
any final words, anything you'd like to tell young people right now, young persons in whatever field, any, concluding messages for our viewing audience at home?
Well, basically just to encourage all young persons to get involved. It's a very fulfilling feeling at the end of the day to
I feel
go
accomplished.
into your tomato plant and pick
Yeah.
a tomato and go inside and make a salad. It's the feeling is one of a kind, and just encourage everybody to continue adhering to the protocols. We will overcome this pandemic, and I think that if we all work together, at the end of the day, we will be successful and we'll bounce back pretty strongly as a country.
Thank you very much for that, Joshua.
No problem.
And thank you very much, viewers. And we'll be right back.
Coronavirus? But children are safe, no?
Hold up. Children are actually more likely to touch all kinds of surfaces, put their hands on their mouths and their eyes, or sneeze and cough with little thought about hygiene when around others. While children have been seen to recover well from this virus, they can easily spread it to those more at risk, like the elderly or ill persons who have a weaker immune system. Teach the little ones in your care to be little powerhouses of infection prevention. Keep reminding them, wash your hands. Cover your mouth with tissue or your inner elbow when you sneeze and cough. And be sure to praise them when you see them taking these precautions. Our health is in our hands. Together, through simple actions, we can stop the spread of coronavirus. This message was brought to you by the Bureau of Health Education of the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Welcome back. Now it's time for our Link Up segment. On this final segment of the show, we reach out to our Caribbean brothers and sisters throughout the region and have a chat about how the pandemic affected their countries on the ground. Today we head over to Belize, where I have a chat with a friend of mine, Danielle Neal, the media coordinator at Colorblind Multimedia Production, where they create locally youth-based content. She's a social worker and she's a student at the University of Belize. And hello, Danielle Neal, joining us from Belize. How are you doing today, darling?
I'm great. Thanks for inviting me to your show, Danielle. It's a pleasure.
I'm so happy that you agreed to do this. So the name of the segment is called Link Up, and we're basically reaching out to our sister isles and just finding out what their experience is or the whole COVID pandemic. So, I'm really excited to hear about what Belize has been doing and what's the story on the ground. So if you don't mind, just briefly, let us know what the Belize story has been from since when, it was announced that we have this world healthcare crisis that we have to worry about.
Great. Let me start off by saying that Belize is officially COVID-19 free. We have no active cases as of today. Today is also our 24th day of having no positive case. 24 consecutive days. We have 4 more days to go before we are officially exonerated. Besides that, Belize we recently reopened our economy on Monday, whereas we opened salons, cosmetic stores, construction is back. We have lessened our restrictions. However, our state of emergency is still intact for 2 months. So we are in state of emergency until the end of June. That is just in the event that there should be a second wave of COVID-19. The government is in a position to act. Besides that, we have lessened restrictions in one state, whereas we can now traverse from one district to the other for not leisure purposes, but for the most part we can. Public transportation is back and running, but we also have some of our restrictions. For example, once you leave your home, you must wear a mask in Belize, and failing to do so will give you a fine of 5,000 Belize dollars or 2,500 US dollars.
Wow.
Definitely. And failing to pay that fine will put you in jail.
Is that, has that announcement about the fine not needing to wear a mask, did that only come with the reopening of the economy, or is that something that has been there for a while?
Wearing a mask has been something that was always discussed in Belize. We encouraged it. However, due to the opening of the economy, the fee and the ramped up of it has definitely happened. We also have a curfew, whereas that didn't change. 8 o'clock curfew for everybody except essential workers. And that will also give you a fine. 6 o'clock curfew for minors. So these are things that have stayed. We also have a very harsh punishment on anybody that is found crossing any border points, whether it is an illegal one or an active border crossing. We will not tolerate that. Just because
when you say borders, can you just explain, give us a little bit more insight about the borders?
Okay, Belize is strategic in the sense that we are bordered by Mexico to our north and to Guatemala to the west. So we can literally walk to Guatemala, and there's a thin river that everybody gets into a canoe or a dory, and we go over to Mexico. It is usual practice for people living in Belize. It's lifestyle habits for people living at border crossing communities. So that is a challenge. Anybody from crossing at these points will be sent directly to the jail for 6 months, and for second offenders, 1 year in jail. That's because next was in Mexico in Quintana Roo. There is a it's skyrocketing with their COVID-19 positive patients, and we just need to secure our people.
Can you
So
speak to
that's what's
a little
happening.
bit? Yeah, can you speak a little bit to, I guess before you guys reopened, what was the feeling like on the ground? Would you say that Belizeans came together? Was there any panic? Was there any scare? And did you see any, I would say, innovation or creation taking place with people in terms of the new problems that this pandemic has caused?
Definitely. It has been amazing to see all that has happened in such a little time in Belize. Everybody came together to play their part, whether it was the private sector, whether it was the public sector. Everybody played their part. Um, in terms of innovation, it's great. We no longer have to leave our home. Groceries are now delivered to our front porch. We have a very popular culture of roadside orange juice and watermelon juice and coconut water. Now this is being delivered to your home.
Wow.
And so every business, whether it is as high as banking or as low as the coconut man or the popsicle man, they have all innovated into making things accessible for Belizeans. So it has been amazing. We have had so many apps. We have self-assessment apps that has been a collaboration between our Ministry of Health and our Statistical Institute, where you
Yeah.
can literally download an app on your phone and put in all your symptoms, and they flag you to see if you are first in line to take a test or you second in line to take a test. So we have done a lot of things in Belize that has made life very easy while we were at home, because our lockdown was pretty drastic. If you weren't an essential worker,
Just tell
you
us how
didn't.
long you guys were locked down for.
We were locked down for a month. We
Wow,
were locked down
24-hour
for 1 month.
lockdown.
Yes.
Wow.
Only essential workers were allowed outside.
So just to wrap up, Daniel, just tell me, what do you think you would like to let the rest of the region know coming from Belize? And what is the lasting impression, I would say, this whole pandemic has left on you, and what you'd like to share with your colleagues and young persons?
This pandemic has definitely made me grateful to live in Belize. We are self-sustainable, and that is one thing that I've noticed is very different here in Belize from the other Caribbean islands. We are able to feed ourselves and keep a norm at least in Belize for a period. And so that had made it so much easier for us. Food security wasn't as alarming to us as the panic was in other islands. But I'd like to say to the other Caribbean islands, work together throughout this and listen to the rules. It is difficult. We have to walk around with a mask every day. We no longer wear makeup because nobody sees it.
Yeah.
So stick to the rules. It's a lot, but it won't last forever. The quicker everybody work together, the quicker this pandemic can be behind us, and we can start to come back to some sort of normalcy. It won't ever be the same. Washing our hands, sanitizing will always be a norm. And so we just have to start to get used to these little things. I am not sure if the entire Caribbean is like Belize, but we are somewhat, if the government says to do it, we don't want to do it. And so we had to put that mentality behind us and we had to work together. Belize, we have so many different cultures. We have the Chinese, we have Indians, we have Garifuna people, Mestizo people. And we
And
had
don't
to
forget the
work together.
Spanish.
We have a lot of Spanish people and
The
we had
Spanish
to put it,
heritage.
we had to pull
Yeah.
it together. We had to work together, all cultures, all races, and we made it work.
Thank you so much, Daniel, for joining me here today. I had so much fun this episode meeting creative St. Lucians and linking up with my sister in Belize. Thanks for all the positive feedback on our show. If you know anyone who's stepping up in your community, feel free to send me an email at steppingup758@gmail.com. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Danielle Dubois. Keep safe and don't forget to keep stepping up. See you next time.